Hi everyone, I'm Hillary Hayden. I am from Washington State. I'm really from Iowa, but I'm living in Washington State now and for a lot of my adult life. And this is my YouTube channel because on April 7, I'm going to start my attempt at a Pacific Crest Trail through hike. That's 1 month from today. There's a lot of planning and prep and all of that goes into this hike, and so it seems like a little crazy that it's happening so soon now. But that said, I did want to get something up on the YouTube channel and get folks acquainted with using it. And then also just take some time to answer some frequently asked questions that I'm getting from friends and family. So the first question that I've been getting from some folks is, what is the PCT? The PCT is a 2,650 mile scenic trail. You know, a lot of people hike it. Some people take horses. The whole thing is graded for horses. There are 3 trails like this in the United States. The Continental Divide Trail goes through the heart of the Rockies, the Appalachian Trail goes through the Appalachian Mountains, and the Pacific Crest Trail kind of rides the outside edge of the Rockies through California, Oregon, and Washington. It has 5 sections, so I'll spend about 700 miles in the desert in Southern California. I'll spend some time in the Sierra Nevada mountains in Northern California, and then Oregon and Washington are the other 2 sections. This usually takes people, like, the fast ones finish in 4 months, the less fast, or people who want to like take more time to enjoy it as they go, take about 6 months. Another question that I get a lot is, why are you doing this, and how long have you been thinking about it? And I guess someone mentioned the PCT to me, I don't know, like several years ago when I was living in California, and I basically didn't really know what it was, but I think over time, as I started to figure it out, it just kind of like sat there like, oh, maybe that's something I'll do someday. So here we are. The why are you doing this question is interesting, because the people who think that you're crazy ask, like, why would you do that? And then I don't know, the ones who think it's cool are like, so what made you decide to do that? And I think the joke answer is that I'm not getting any younger and I'm not getting better knees. But I think the true answer is that I really like hiking. I really like physical challenges. Really like being outdoors and the idea of kind of living outdoors. So I'm excited for all of those things. And I think this is not a reason that I decided to hike the PCT, but I do think it's a theme or a thread that has run through a lot of my conversations. I have a lot of nieces and nephews. I have a lot of other kids kind of in the periphery of my life. And I'll take a second to say hi, Levi, and Avery and Asher and Evalie and Maven and Sinclair, and my peripheral nieces and nephew, Atlas and Alara, and all the kids that I get to hang out with. I sub at a preschool sometimes. So, and I hope, I don't anticipate they're going to watch a bunch of YouTube videos. I just have a hard time believing that they're going to sit down and watch them. But I do hope for all of the kids that hang out in my periphery that some of the things I've been able to do in my adult life are things that they'll look at and say, like, oh, like being an adult doesn't mean losing your sense of adventure. So I'm just going to leave that there. It's a thing that I think about a lot. And here's to hoping that my nieces and nephews and other kiddos grow up to be people who like adventures. A common question, mostly from moms, is, are you going alone? So alone is an interesting term for the PCT, because I'm not going with anyone else that I know. But there are 8,000 people who get permits for this. Between March 1st and May 31st, there's 50 people who start from the southern terminus each day. And go north toward Canada. There's also 15 people, and I don't remember what day of the year this starts, but 15 people a day for so long that start at the northern terminus and go south. So the again joke answer for this question is, I'm gonna hike with 7,999 of my best friends that I don't know yet. And then I think the other important thing to say is that people physically do the walking and the carrying of their pack on their own while they're on trail. But there's basically no way that people can hike the trail without the help of other people. So there's a really fantastic network of what we trail folk call trail angels. These are folks who live around the PCT and will come pick hikers up at a trailhead, or let them sleep in their yard, or take a shower in their house, or run them to the post office quick. So again, like, hikers need that support, and there's basically no way you could complete the trail without that extra help. Um, questions again that I get. How are you going to get food and water? So I think the water question is kind of interesting. I have a couple fun props here. So this is my water filter. This little part pops off like this. Basically, this will screw on to a water bladder or onto like a smart water bottle, and then I can literally put this little top on it and drink straight out of it. The other thing is that I can put dirty water in there, and I can squeeze the dirty water out of the water bladder or whatever else into a clean water bottle. So that is the plan. This is the, I think, most used water filter on the PCT per hiker surveys. So we'll see. I assume I'll be seeing a lot of those on trail again this year. The other way that folks get water is through water caches. So again, referencing Trail Angels, there's long stretches where you have to carry water, in the desert section especially. Just some quick math, like there are sections of trail that are sometimes like 20 miles long where there's no water. Each liter of water that you carry weighs 2.2 pounds, and you need a liter for every 4 to 5 miles that you walk. So if you're doing a 20-mile stretch, you're carrying like 10 pounds just of water on your back. So the Trail Angels, a lot of them will find places along trail that it's easy for them to come leave gallon jugs of water, and they'll just leave these caches of water for hikers to come pick up. So that's the water question. In terms of food, I will hike basically 3 to 5 days before I hit a town. When I hit a town, I'll be able to pick up food at the grocery store, run to the post office if there's a package that I mailed myself or something like that. And then when I'm in the woods, I'll be cooking on a stove. I'll also be eating a lot of snacks. I got talked at a class I took a couple weeks ago into carrying a fanny pack for snacks and my phone and that kind of thing. So that's the plan on food. A question I get asked sometimes is how many changes of clothes am I going to carry and how often will I shower? The shower question is pretty easy to answer because it's basically whenever you can, and sometimes it will be more available and other times it will be less available while you're on trail. It kind of harkens back to some of my memories of being in charge of wilderness camp when I was in college, where we wouldn't shower for many days during the week. So in terms of changes of clothes, you basically have clothes that serve specific purposes. So I have a pair of pants that's for rain and wind, and I have a pair of pants that's wool for snow and for cold nights, and just generally for sleeping. And then I have a pair of running shorts basically that I will hike in on warm days. And the same, kind of layout for things that I'll wear on the top. I also have a puffy jacket, a super light synthetic Patagonia jacket that will kind of serve as a winter coat in places where it's cold. Another, kind of mom question, is this safe? Is there something that scares you? And I think I'll start with is there something that scares you? So most people, if you ask them what they should be afraid of on the Pacific Crest Trail, or what do you think I should be afraid of when I'm out there? They'll say things like bears or mountain lions or rattlesnakes. And I, frankly, have very little concern about those, and a lot more concern about crossing icy passes, and then water crossings, just creek crossings as a whole. So that brings me to, is this safe? And I think the answer is that, there's lots of things in our lives that we do that are relatively dangerous, but also, I think of like people who say in the through hiking space, like this is like driving a car, you're probably safer through hiking than driving a car, that kind of thing. So I have a couple more, I guess one more prop for this, but this is my Garmin InReach Mini. This is a satellite device, and I will be able to text through it. It will track my device my location, to a map online every 30 minutes. It also allows me to reach out to a rescue crew if something goes wrong. So that's a safety feature. I also took an ice axe training a couple of weeks ago. That's the class where I got talked into wearing the fanny pack. That's what I have in terms of safety. A funny question I get asked a lot is like, how comfortable are you going to the bathroom in the woods? And I guess just for kicks and giggles, I have a couple props to share with folks. Both of these were family jokes over Christmas. So This is kind of a thing right now. This is a Kula cloth. You literally hang it on your pack. There's a little snap for it. And this antimicrobial side is what most people wipe with when they pee, so they don't have to carry toilet paper. So there's that. And then I also have this lovely little trowel, which is called the Deuce, which is so that you can bury your poop in the backcountry. Cool. So what are you looking forward to? What are you not so excited about? Is a question I've been getting some. I'm really excited for the Sierra section. I think it's a little bit more remote, but you know, I'm just excited to see this like remote piece of wilderness. It's a lot of crossing passes, and there will be some snow hiking and that kind of thing. And then I'm excited to hike in the desert. I haven't spent a lot of time in the desert, so I am generally excited to be there. I guess on my list of things I'm not so excited about is having to learn to hike in the heat. So I think I'm excited to meet some other like semi-crazy people who also thought taking 6 months out of their life to do this hike was a good idea. And then I think the other thing, and I don't want to make it seem like I'm running away from anything, because I have a really good job. I have a life that I like in Washington, but I do talk about this as I'm going to be incredibly busy in a different way for the next 6 months, and I'm looking forward to that change of pace. The last question that I'm going to talk through in this video is how can we mail things to you, and how? So the short answer is yes, you could mail things to me on the Pacific Crest Trail. The hard part is that you would have to tell me that you wanted to do that ahead of time. So you couldn't like surprise mail me a package to a town. You need to tell me ahead of time that you want to do it, and basically we will negotiate. I'll send you like a list of things I generally like to eat, and then while I'm on trail, I'll have that list of people that said, we want to send you a box. What do you want us to send you in terms of food? Or maybe I'd ask for toothpaste or this kind of thing. And then I'll reach out to you sometime on trail a few weeks before I'm going to be in a location. And I'll say, can you mail a box to this location? And then when I get there, I'll go to the post office and pick it up. One important thing is that those poor people at the post office, or sometimes, it's a gas station along the highway, and sometimes it's a restaurant. At those locations, those people receive like hundreds of boxes throughout the through hiking season. So it's pretty important that you do something to make that box noticeable. For us, this is the green duct tape that Rutger will be using when he mails me boxes. For other people, you are welcome to use whatever you want. The catch is you have to tell me what the thing is for me to talk to the poor post office workers, to let them know that this is the thing they're looking for when they go to that wall of boxes. So I think for now, those are the questions that I wanted to answer. I'm really looking forward to sharing this journey with you. I'm going to try really hard to post at least one more, maybe 2 more videos before I leave. I'd like to do a gear review or something like that. But yeah, really looking forward to sharing this journey with you, and thanks so much for watching. Bye everyone.